Okay, so this video is for the sunflower plate. So I have a little rolling pin, I have my clay. Okay, so I'm going to roll it out to about 1/4 inch thickness, iPhone thickness. Okay, I'll turn it so that I don't get any weird lumps or mounds in the center. And I'm going to check both sides. Always check both sides and don't get stuck on your board. Okay, it helps if you keep picking up your clay, that way you don't get stuck in like a wet spot. Okay, so I am going to smooth this side real quick. You can use one of the ribs, metal one. I have this rubber one I like. So I'm just going to smooth that down a little bit. You can smooth both sides. Okay, so I am going to trace a bowl real quick. Trace and cut. Okay, so I got a bowl and I have a kind of a sharp tool. Just gonna hold it steady, trace, cut. Okay, so you're gonna need a ruler for this next part, but I'm just gonna use, actually I have a ruler right here, so that works out, never mind. Okay, so I am not cutting, I'm just going to make lines. So I'm just gonna divide it in half and then in half again. So I wanna make a series of lines. So you kind of wanna make sure you eye the center. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make some lines, not too hard. So I'm dividing it in fourths. Okay, so that's fourths. Now I'm going to do it again, right? Try to eye it. Get right up on that center. Okay, so now I have 8 slices, but I need to double it up. So I'm going to do it one more time, and that's it. Okay, so you'll have 16 triangles. Okay, so I got 16, right? So in this half I have 8, and in the upper half I have 8. Okay, so I have these little caps and these little containers up here that work to make the stamp for the center of the head. So I'm just going to eye the center a little bit. Let's see. Okay, and I'll just kind of press down, not too hard, just enough to make a line. Okay, so I don't need this to have lines anymore. So if your lines didn't look good in the middle, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then I have these little paint bottles that we're going to do one more smaller circle. Alright, so now I am ready to start doing the texture. So this is where we're going with this form. Okay, so I'm just gonna use a pencil because I like the way the lines come out better. So I'm just gonna kind of make an organized series of dots. You can even do it right on that line that you made. And if it's got a little pieces of clay sticking up, don't worry about it. You can always scrape it off later. Okay. So now for this outer donut, I'm going to do these little dashed lines. Okay, so you really got to fill in this whole area with texture. Takes a little work, but it's going to look better. So I'm trying to stay organized. I'm doing like bands, kind of like rows. I'm just taking the little pieces of clay off the pencil if you're wondering. Okay, so texture's done. I got my dots. You can make as many dots as you want. If you're not happy with it looking too similar, you can kind of poke a little deeper with the dots. It's fine. Okay, so this step is really critical, and you gotta get it right before. Don't cut until you know you have it right. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of do a zigzag line, but I'm gonna curve my zigzag a little bit. Okay, so each set of two will become one petal. Okay, so now I have all my lines. Now I can go ahead and cut. Let's get that piece out. everything is cut out. Okay, so now I don't need these long lines that come to a point, so I'm going to blend those clean. But I'm going to keep the short ones because those divide the petals. Okay, so I have now 8 petals. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do with texture is I'm going to put a few little eyelash marks on the petals where they meet the sunflower head. Use a pencil or whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so it's gonna need a little cleanup, so hopefully you're not stuck on your board. If you are, you gotta free yourself. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of do a little cleanup on those edges, and I'm gonna start to bend them upright, so it's more like a little plate. So if you lost your points on the petals, just kind of like blend the clay in one direction. I'm just kind of bending it up with my thumb. So if your pieces are falling down, you can just take a little ball of clay and just kind of tuck it, prop it up, just so it can dry. Okay, so then of course when you're done, carefully flip it over, sign it. You can put period, P, whatever period you're in. Okay, and that's it.